The Worldeaters. Even before the Horus heresy, the Worldeaters were noted for their bloody-handed excess. They were censored by the Emperor of their use of psychosurgery on neophytes to turn them into frothing madmen. Nonetheless, the Worldeaters were invaluable shock troops in the Great Crusade, fighting on the forefront of many of the greatest battles, and so they were permitted to proceed as their murderous Primarch England saw fit. It was a simple matter for Horus to turn the Worldeaters to the worship of chaos. Under his corrupting influence, Angron quickly devoted himself to Khorn, the blood god. Angron was a great warrior, and the blood god valued especially the Primarch's latent bloodlust and volcanic temper, and others saw it as a curse. Angron became one of Khorne's greatest champions, his feet set firmly upon the paths towards demonhood and ultimate power. Transformed from loyal servants of the Emperor into murdering champions of the blood god, the traitorous Worldeaters became a byword for slaughter and brutality. They fought in vanguard on every assault. Their legion record shows it as they, not the sons of Horus, who first breached the walls of the Imperial Palace. The Worldeaters retreated from Terra only grudgingly, and even then they carved a bloody swath through everything that stood in their way from the retreat of the Eye of Terra. Amidst the madness of the Eye of Terra, the Worldeaters sank even farther into the worship of Khorn. All pretense of forming balanced tactical forces fell away as the Worldeaters armed themselves entirely with pistols and close combat weapons. Chain axes and chain swords becoming the favored tools of bloodshed. Competition to be the first into the fray became so fierce that the Worldeaters would as readily turn their weapons upon one another as foe. As more and more of the Legion's officers became fully fledged champions of Khorn, or were possessed by demons, all discipline collapsed. Finally, at the end of the savage Scalathrax campaign, Khorn the Betrayer, an exalted, utterly insane and berserker champion of Khorn, set upon his brethren with such bloodlust that the whole legion tore itself apart. The horrific battle lasted for days, excess of butchery being unleashed that would leave an indelible stain upon reality and the warp alike. By the time the smoke had cleared, the Worldeaters were shattered into dozens of crazed warbands, moving relentlessly through the Eye of Terror, seeking out battle and bloodshed. Even now, some of these warbands were hundreds strong, while others were no more than lone champions, leading his berserkers on a quest for carnage. Clad in armor of red, black, and brass, Khorne's chosen warriors are the first into any battle and the last to leave the field. Such warbands will enjoy with any Chaos Lord who is gathering his forces for conquest, asking nothing more in return than to spill blood and to take skulls for their Lord Khorn. However, even the mightiest Chaos Lords must be weary of these lunatic allies, lest their own heads be added to the skull tally. Though a shattered legion, the Worldeaters can field the numbers of martial might to bring whole star systems to their knees. led by rampaging chaos lords or blood-slick demon princes. These armies augment their numbers with those mortal cultists who have given themselves to the butchery and bloodlust of Khorn. Bestial mutants and deranged lunatics follow the Khorn berserkers to war in their thousands, desperate to shed the blood in their monstrous deity's name. Though Khorn despises sorcery and sees it as unfitting for a warrior, he does not rely on swords and axes alone to gather souls. Greatest of Khorn's weapons are infernal demon machines, driven by the caged essence of furious warp entities. Clad in heavy armor of black steel and marked with brass skull runes of Khorn, these horrific machines crush screaming victims beneath their spiked treads and wheels as they subject the enemy to thunderous barrage after another barrage. Blood for the blood god.